Happy Self-Love Sunday. I am Moe Sass, your host of Self-Love Sundays with Sass. I am your certified vision and empowerment and extreme execution coach who comes every single Sunday so we can talk about all the ways in which you can better your best. And listen, the reviews that have been coming in, the testimonies that have been coming in about my new book, Find Your Way, 7 Ways to Love and Heal Yourself, have been phenomenal. This transformational, game-changing book, and I'm not saying it because those are my words, I'm saying it because that's been their testimonies. Absolutely amazing. Again, Find Your Way, 7 Ways to Love and Heal Yourself. You can get it on Amazon and on my website. I'll drop both links at the end of this video, but I just really want to get right into it because my God, y'all, so much has been going on. So I have a lot of friends who work in corporate America, as well as, listen, if you've been here for a minute, you know. I also have, a 9 to 5, as well as run my own business. And I also work in corporate America for a Fortune 500 company. And in between the layoffs and all the things that have been happening, I feel like people have been losing their mind. I'm just like, wow, like for real, for real. So just to let you in on it a little bit, we also got some news at my company as well that I know will affect me. I'm just not sure in what way it will affect me yet. And neither does the other people who got the same announcement I did, okay? We all got the same announcement. But people started losing their minds, calling everybody, worrying about this and worrying about that. And, oh, I might have to sell my home. It's amazing to me what happens to people when they get a piece of information, not the full story, not the definitive answer, just a piece of the story, right? It's just watching them just be reactive and emotional and just all over the place. And so none of that was my response because I don't react, I respond. And a friend of mine was asking me like, how are you dealing with it? And they asked me how to talk to my kids. And I said, listen, my personality is this. I don't worry, I plan. And when I said it, I said, you know what? I'm going to come here on this Self Love Sunday and we're going to talk about how to not worry, but have a plan. The thing is with me, I've always had a plan. I never thought that my 9 to 5, because truthfully, when I applied for the position, I've been there for 25 years. It was all about taking care of my family. It was never supposed to be an end all be all for me anyway. And it's okay if it's an end all be all for you in your position. But the thing is, you have to know is when you don't own a company, you have to have a plan A, B, C, D, and E. It's just the truth because when it's not your company, people can do whatever they want with their company. And it's amazing to see. Yes, we think, oh, I've been there 25 years. Some of them been here 30 years. You think loyalty. The thing is, corporations are loyal to the dollar, not the people. And this is the reality that most of us need to understand. We don't. We go into these companies thinking that, oh, they're loyal to their employees. The truth is, that's not the truth. They're loyal to their bottom line and their board. It just is what it is. And so when you start to face the reality of it all, that can help you develop a plan of action. So today, I really just want to talk about how to make a plan so you are not worrying. We don't worry, we plan. Okay. Number one, whenever you first get some news, and this is how to plan and not worry in times of uncertainty, right? So the first thing you have to do is feel your feelings. I'm okay with people feeling their feelings because we should not be numb. We should not be avoiding our feelings. That's not what we do. Of course, I need you to feel everything that you need to feel. The thing is, we can't stay stuck in the feeling because the feeling doesn't get us to plan, and the feelings are not facts. Or it just is what it is, right? So number one, feel your feelings. Number two, assess the situation because we know feelings are not fact, right? We have to get to the facts of the matter. Understand the impact. What is the impact of the news that you just received? Okay. And then we need to identify opportunities and challenges because sometimes when some things happen in a company, there may be room for opportunity for growth. Maybe it's time for you to go to a different department. Maybe it's time to think about you starting your own business. Maybe it's time to think about, what life looks like outside of the company that you are in. Because the truth of the matter is there are many, many companies and you don't always have to, because everybody doesn't want to be an entrepreneur because entrepreneurship is hard work. Everybody doesn't want to be an entrepreneur because entrepreneurship is hard work. It is what it is. And not that we're grinding and all those things. But it is hard work. It is hard work. So not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and that's fine, but you need to have a plan of play. What other companies would you like to work at? Are your skills transferable? The things that you know, can you take it to other companies? I know for my sister, we used to talk all the time because she works in the government. A lot of her skills, because of the language that they use, was not transferable. So we had to talk about, you have to make that language transferable when you're thinking about doing your resume and telling your resume to other companies you may be interested in. Okay, so right now, though, we're just assessing the situation. What are the facts? What do you know to be true? And this is where I need you to get past the feelings and get to the facts. Number 3, set clear goals. What do you need? Who do you need to call? Do you need help? Who are the people who can help you? Is it time for you to get with a coach to understand, to help you get your skills to be transferable, to understand, or there's business coaches, there's resume coaches, to understand what is it that you need if you're looking outside the corporation. Are you looking to start your own business? Do you need someone to help you with that? Do you need to take a course? Do you need to join a mastermind? What do you need? The biggest issue I find with most people is, number one, they never know what they want, so they can't ever get to what they need. I need you to sit down. What do you want? It's like, I need to pause here for a second, because people are up in arms, say for example, because you're laid off, but you didn't even like the job. You didn't want to be there and there. You complained every single day. So what do you want? A lot of times we pray to God, and I'm not here to tell you who your God is, but we pray. Some people talk to the universe, whatever it so be, for something to happen. And then it comes not in the form that we think, and we think, oh, this is a curse. It's the thing you've been praying for. Hello, somebody. You go to this place every single day. You complain about how they run the company. You don't like how it is. You don't like your pay. So then why are you there? Maybe this is an opportunity for you to go do what you really love to do. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to start your own company. So then guess what? It's all on you. And I say that in the most loving way because I love my company. It's all on me. So that's the thing. You have to start. What do you really want? Why are you going to a place that you're unhappy with every single day? I happen to like my 9 to 5. That's why I haven't left yet. Not even just that. I love Jamal King. You'll hear me talk about him all the time. He calls himself, the 9 to 5 millionaire. He worked on his job as a police officer as a millionaire. He worked there until he was comfortable enough to leave, and I'm sure left with his full benefit package. The same with me. Like when people are talking about, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'll be crazy to jump off this ship. I'm almost at the end of the game. There's a difference financially for me that doesn't make sense for me to jump ship right now. I'm in a great position in my company. So to me, I'm assessing the situation. I didn't make any knee-jerk reactions. But if you are the person who complains every single day, you hate the job, you hate the people, you hate the company, you hate the board, why are you there? Because the truth of the matter is, that's not growth for you. That's not growth for the company. Why are you there? What do you want? What do you want to do? Stop believing that you have to live in misery. You do not. Here's the thing. If no one else has told you, let me tell you today. I'm going to set you free. You ready? You get to make a choice. You get to live different. You absolutely 100% can make a different decision right now in this moment to say, you know what? I'm going to start making a plan to do the thing that makes me happy. And if it doesn't bring you the finances you want, you have to ask yourself, which one do you want to choose? And the truth of the matter is, right now, you may have to make that choice, but in the long run, when you do what you love, you don't have to make a choice. I do what I love. I don't make a choice. I love what I do, and I'm compensated well for it. It's just what it is. So you have to ask yourself the same questions. What do you really want to do? Stop going in these companies complaining and griping all day as if you have no other choice. Honey, we are not victims. No, ma'am. A victim and no, sir. Okay? A victim has no other choice in the matter. They're forced into a situation. You're not a victim. You're not forced to do anything. I'm listening to T.D. Jakes' book right now called Disruptive Thinking. And I love it because he's talking about being poor. And it's like, well, people like, well, I can't leave my neighborhood. Why not? You're going to be poor on the beach. I see it. It's in California. They poor on the beach. You can be poor in another city. You can be homeless in any city. And not to say that I'm promoting homelessness or people being poor, but it's just what I'm saying is you don't have to sit in the same place in the same environment hoping for something different. Sometimes a change in environment is just what you need. There's a book called Homeless to Billionaire. I think his name is Tony Parada. That's exactly what he did. He was poor. He was homeless. He went to a beach in Thailand to be poor and homeless on the beach. Changed his entire trajectory of his life because he got into The Secret. I believe that was the first book someone gave him. And then he learned, and he is now a billionaire. So again, changing environment sometimes can change a lot of things, but you have to plan. The biggest thing is don't believe that you have to sit in the place and you have no other choice. As long as you are human and you breathe and you can make a different choice. You can make a different choice. Make the choice and then make the plan. Because guess what? We don't worry. We plan. All right. So we talked about number 1, feel your feelings. Number 2, assess the situation. Number 3, set clear goals. All right, number 4, break it down. Now that you have your clear goals, we need to break them down into small actionable items. So for example, if you're making the plan to leave your 9 to 5 because listen, you're tired of every 5 minutes getting threatened with a layoff, then we need for you to make a plan of where you want to be in 6 months. And I need you to break it down into small first monthly goals. And then I need you to work on it every single day. What could that look like? Okay, I'm going to send my resume. I'm going to send out, because you work your job and you want to be present on the job while you're there. I'm going to send out 20 resumes a week. Okay, 20 resumes a week for 5 days. Break that down. 5 divided into 20 is what? And that's how many you need to do per day. Okay. That's how you do that, right? If it's resumes, if it's okay, you know what? I need to hire a coach. I'm going to start researching what that looks like so that by next month I'm with the coach so we can make a plan together on where it is that I want to be in the next 6 months. That way I have someone holding me accountable for that. Maybe it's I need to hire a therapist so I can work through these feelings so I can stop reacting all over the place and learn how to respond instead of just jumping up and just be reactionary to everything that's happening. Let me work through my feelings. Let me understand that I have a choice. Maybe I'm a person that doesn't believe I have any other choice. I remember talking to a good friend of mine, and I'm so thankful to God that he got this. But I remember talking to him, and he really believed that he had no other choice. Like the only way out of his situation was when he died. And when I heard it, I was like, "Are you crazy?" Like, listen, y'all, this is the real me, okay? I was like, "Are you out of your mind?" So you mean to tell me you get to do this life one time and you going to tell me you stuck to some situation, the only way out is when you die? If anybody under the sound of my voice believes that, I promise you it's time for you to get into therapy immediately, because that is not the truth. You can absolutely make a different choice. You can absolutely have anything you want. Be what you want. Do what you want. But it starts in here. It's the mindset. Who told you that? Who are you around that you even believe that? Whoever you are around that you believe that, you need to get from around them ASAP. Do you understand me? A client of mine, when she first came to me, I can't wait. I'm still trying to figure out how to get her to tell her story. Because when she first came, we first started working together, it was last year. I mean, suffering through depression. She would come to our Zoom calls, because I do coach via Zoom, in holy shirts, pajamas, hair not done, sleeping half the time, not performing well on her job, just in this state of poor me, sunken place, victim mentality, just mindset, just done. And when we work through that thing, for her to understand that's a life that you are literally choosing. And what I mean by choosing is, I mean by not getting the help that you need. Not that anybody chooses depression. I want you to understand that. I understand that. Listen, now that I'm going through menopause, I understand. No, nobody chooses this stuff that goes on up in the head, okay? Because it is literally like day to day. But what did I do to help myself? I called my therapist and said, listen, I'm going through menopause. My thoughts, my hormones are up and down. You get the help you need. And what does that do? Help you get to the other side of that thing. And listen, in the beginning, I made a promise. If she puts in the work, because if you work coaching, and you get with a good coach, I said, if you work this thing, I promise you, your life on the other side will look completely different. Well, we just had our monthly checkup a few days ago. She came to the call, y'all, dressed, dressed down, hair done, makeup on, and I don't wear makeup, so I'm not saying you have to be a makeup girl. Makeup on, dating. She's social. She going to social events. Okay, so let me just give you a little backdrop. She wasn't dating, wasn't going out at all to any social event. The only thing she was doing was going to work because she had to drag herself there. She would not go to the gym in her building, nothing. This girl is working out 5 days a week. She's working out 5 days a week. She's dating. She's going on social events. And listen, if people would invite her, she would go, but she never initiated anything. She's initiating going out to events with people. And wait, going out by herself, she would never. This girl went to a Miami Heat basketball game by herself. And when she did it, because she had met someone she knew who was working there. She was like, hey, I'm coming to the game. He got her courtside seats, like right behind the plate. Do you understand the power of when you seek out help? I'm telling you, and I know we were talking about breaking it down, but that's why it's so important to get in an environment and get around people that's going to help you understand that not only that you can achieve that goal, but we're going to break this thing down and walk through it. And it's literally 6 months later. And that's the power of working with somebody and getting in the right environment with the right people. 6 months later, she's a completely different woman. Completely different woman. Okay. And so after we break down the class, remember, we felt our feelings, right? Number one, we assessed the situation, set clear goals. We broke it down. Okay. Now we're going to prioritize. You have to prioritize. You have to do the hard things first. A lot of times people don't want to do the hard things. We're going to do what's easy, what's comfortable. You can't. You got to do the hard things first. What is the hard thing for you? I need you to prioritize that, and that's the number one thing you need to do. So let me just break this down to y'all. The hardest thing for me right now is the working out and staying consistent with reading my Bible. I'm not going to lie, because I get busy. And so what do? First thing in the morning. I sit down, I put my timer on, I read whatever I'm reading in the Bible. And then also, if I'm going to work out, it's done in the morning. Okay. I'm not even going to tell y'all how I put on my Kangoo jump boots last week, and I went out in my court jumping around in them boots, child. My neighbors must have been like, this girl is crazy. But there's 2 things that weren't happening in my life, and I'm not afraid to admit that. Number 2, I wasn't exercising as much as I was before because my schedule, everything shifted with, all that I'm doing in the mornings. And I just listen, I wasn't feeling it. It was what it was. I wasn't feeling it. So I made a conscious decision, I'm going to get back to it, and so I was out there with my boots just jumping around looking. I don't care how I look. And the other thing is too, I really wasn't having fun in my life. I was doing so much work. I was work, and not having fun. So I decided I'm going to start having more fun in my life, okay? Because my comfort zone for me is my house. I love my house. It's so peaceful. I've built a place of peace, an environment where I just feel loved all day, and I love being with me. I love, I don't have to watch a bunch of TV. I don't need to talk on the phone. I just love being around myself. That's the power of healing. That's why I wrote my book, because it's so important that we do that. All right, so now after we prioritize, the very last thing that we must do. So we feel the feelings, assess the situation, set clear goals, break it down, prioritize. Number 6, I think I said 5 things. I'm going to say 6 things. The last thing is take action. Listen, you can plan all you want, but if you don't put any action behind it, you just plan to fail. Okay, and so what is failure to me? Because it's funny. I had someone who comes to the accountability call, and he was like, "Oh, I felt like a failure, blah blah." And I'm like, "What? Do you even know what a failure is? Failure to me is someone who sits around and consistently complains and does nothing. They complain it's the government, it's the people, it's the job, never realizing that they're the common denominator, but don't seek out anything to change it or to make their lives better. To me, that's failure. But if you are a person who consistently falls down, and every time you fall down, you get back up, you're not failing, you're learning. I want us to go back to the time when we were kids and we had to learn how to do, you hear me, this analogy, I love it all the time, learn how to do multiplication and division. We had to master that thing. How do we master it? We had flashcards. I don't know if you guys was this old, but we had flashcards, right? We had to do 2 times 2 is 4. How many times? We used stick figures over and over again. A lot of times, and when we did division, we had to get the problem wrong to understand how to get it right. It's not failing when you are learning. It's failing when you allow that to overtake you, get into your feelings, and allow your feelings to make everything make your feelings fact, which they are not, and then you do nothing about it. You sit on your butt and you complain, and you judge everybody, and you talk about everybody. That's failure to me. That's failure. And so if that is you, understand that today you can absolutely make a different choice to move from environment, to get around from those negative people, because that's what it is, to turn off those negative shows you're watching. I promise you, people don't even realize how powerful it is to monitor your ear and your eye gates, what you're listening to and what you're watching. I'm going to tell you a prime example for me. So listen, I wanted to get back on that hump. I wanted to get back to, working out, because I was used to be really hardcore with my workouts, right? And when I say used to be, I ain't talking about 20 years ago for y'all to want try to come for me, okay? I'm talking about like really literally this year. I was going hardcore for a minute, and then my schedule shifted, so I shifted. And did so just to make it really clear, I'm down 23 pounds, okay? Boom. But I wanted to get back in it. So it's, for me, everything is mindset. So if I'm not doing it, it's something in my mindset. So I started listening to David Goggins' book, right? You Can't Hurt Me. And although his story is great, I found that it wasn't great for me to hear in this moment. Why? Remember, I told you guys I'm going through menopause. So when you go through menopause, when your hormones shift, your thoughts shift. I need my men to understand something. If you are with a woman who's going through menopause, don't tell me that it's hormones are not real, okay? I'm going to tell you that honestly, this shift that I've even seen in my mindset and how I think about things and think about myself, it was shifting and I was like, what is going on with me? Why am I feeling this way? That's not my personality. I'm really outgoing, but I felt like I wanted to seclude myself. It was a lot. So it's like, so I'm going through that phase. So listening to David Goggins' horrific life story, and granted, it's a story of resilience, overcoming. I mean, but it was too much. It was too much for me. And I was like, man, I can't listen to this. And so I had to switch to a different Audible book, because I listened to a lot of Audible books. I had to, switch out what I was listening to. And that sometimes can happen. So it's not that I'm the type of person to put my head in the sand, but I don't watch news. I don't watch news because guess what's on the news? Who who killed who? The Republicans against the Democrats. And the truth of the matter is, all of that stuff is just their opinions. Nobody is talking fact, and everybody's running around with it. Oh, the left. Oh, the right. You know what? I mean, that's what you turn that on. That's what you get, pretty much. Not there's no way for there's no path for it. No one's talking about a solution. Everybody's just spewing the problem all over the place. So yeah, if you want to watch the news, so be it. It's not news anymore. It's literally problems. No resolutions. Not a one. So I decided that that's not something that I want to watch. If I want to know what's going on in the world, there's different ways to find out. But sitting down watching people just spew their opinions and skew things from their perspective, because that's all it is. People don't even realize how brainwashed they are. You sit down, you watch CNN, you agree with it. It's like, okay, you're running with them. You sit down, you watch Fox. Okay, it's like, come on, really? How about step back and think for yourself? How about read for yourself? How about learn for yourself? It's so important. for you to understand, so you can have your own formed opinion about whatever it is that's going on in your life. And let me just say this to you. You may not like it, but it's the truth. The government is not going to solve your problems. It is. It is not. It is not. That's what I love about T.D. Jakes' book, Disruptive Thinking. It's time to disrupt your thinking. It's time for you to stop this word. It's time for you to stop this blame. It's time for you to stop this victim mentality. And it's time for you to get into action. It's time for you to plan. Okay? I also talked about it in my book. Okay? Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Okay? I talked about it in there because it's time for you to make a plan. No one's coming to save you. Not a government, not a woman, not a man, not a child. No one's coming. So when you know that, it's time for you to make a plan. And here's the thing. Do we make the plan so tight that we're not flexible? Absolutely not. I want you to stay flexible within your plan because things are going to happen, right? So stay flexible. Stay open. If you've been asking for something and now your life is changing, I need you to sit back and evaluate, what did you ask for? Because it's never going to come in the way you think it's going to come. That's not how God works. So I just need you to know that today. All right. So I want you to have the most amazing rest of your Sunday. And I will talk to you next week. Remember, if you ever want to reach out to me, www.moesass.com. You can always email me. You don't like something I say, info@moesass.com. But let me tell you something. Don't do it. Don't leave no nasty comment, y'all. Number one, all I'm going to do is delete it. Not that I'm afraid of confrontation, but here's the thing. There's a way to approach me. And because I am respectful, I require nothing but respect from every single person that comes across me. So if it's not in a respectful manner, guess what? Don't do it because you're just wasting your breath and your words, okay? All right now. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.